Hi everyone, welcome to this video where I'm going to talk to you about goals. Not only about goals, but more specifically how you can set your goals in a way that's going to optimize your chances of succeeding at accomplishing them. And why would we want to do that? It's more than just like hashtag goals on social media everywhere. We want to succeed at our goals that we set because it sends a or creates a positive psychology loop in our head telling us that we are so capable of so many things, of all of the things that we set our mind to, whether it's big, whether it's small. And it turns out there's a specific way to set goals that I use with all of my clients that helps them reach, understand, and support them as they go through that entire process, right? So I want to remind you today to dream big. Go ahead and dream big and use this method of goal setting to support you with the big dreams and with the small goals too, the incremental goals that will get you to that larger life where you're making all of your money from purely music or acting, or your art is selling worldwide in a really, really beautiful way. That's what I'm here to support you with. So today is part 1, and tomorrow I'll be posting part 2. There's a couple of different exercises, and once you master them, once you integrate them into your life and all of the goal setting that you do, you're going to start noticing a more successful rate. You're going to start noticing that you're really starting to believe in yourself. And even if you do hit the obstacles, or maybe you don't hit the goal exactly on time, or it's not exactly what it looks like, you'll understand how capable you are of really making your dreams come true. So today, part 1, really easy. I'm going to break down what SMART goals are. So SMART goals, you might have heard of them, especially if you have a military background or a business background or anything like that. It's an acronym, and I have a couple of different things that I like to add to it. So the SMART is actually for, is your goal specific? You can say that you want to book more gigs as a musician. Great, that's awesome. You should want to book more gigs as a musician. However, how many more? Because technically, if you do one more gig, then you've booked more. So think about it. Like, actually do the legwork. What kind of gigs and how many gigs? All right. And then also, is it simple? That's it. I want to book more gigs. Great. That's really, really simple. This is not the time to be Shakespeare. This is not time to let that creativity flow. This is a time where you're actually going to be communicating very directly to your unconscious mind and letting it know what it needs to know. Our unconscious mind is actually driving our bus. It's driving our behaviors in a way that we don't even really understand. And sometimes to change those behaviors or to create results that we've never created before, we have to communicate with our unconscious mind in a very simple and direct way. I'll do more on the best way to communicate with your unconscious mind in the future, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of that great advice. And then, yeah, then you'll have everything you need. We'll be editing this out. We're gonna shut off the messages. We don't need distractions. Okay, so we don't need distractions right now. So is it specific and is it simple? Again, we need simple, straightforward, so our unconscious mind can support us as powerfully as possible in accomplishing all that we need to accomplish. The M is for, is it measurable? Absolutely. So if you say, I want more music gigs, good. How many more? 20 more? 25 more? 50? Is it measurable? That's it. There has to be a quantifiable thing attached to the goal. Otherwise, how will you know that you've accomplished it? And the other part of the M meaning is is it meaningful to you? This is really important because if there is not a meaning that evokes a certain emotion in you, if it is a goal without emotions, I guarantee you that you are almost like 0% likely to accomplish the goal. Why? Because if we have no emotion, if we don't have that desire or that hunger to make sure that the goal is going to happen, what happens when there's a distraction, when there's an obstacle, or when there's a challenge, which there will be? In a perfect world, we could just set our goals and think that nothing is bad is ever going to happen and that the rest of it is just going to swim along quite beautifully. That is a perfect world, but you know what? Until we are masters at projecting our pristine, congruent, fully believing in ourselves inner world into our outer world, the external world is going to continue to test us, and we will come up against challenges, obstacles, hard times. There's no question that the crap happens, right? So there has to be a meaning behind it, a bigger meaning than just yourself. So say it's more musical gigs. What does that mean? Does that mean you get to fulfill a lifelong dream of traveling the world? Does that mean you get to provide for your family? Does that mean you get to quit the shitty cubicle job that is completely making you miserable? All of those things mean a better quality of life, possibly. I'm not going to mind read for you, but they mean a better quality of life for you that will help you move forward when those challenges do come up, and they do. The A is all about, can you act as if you had it now? How would you show up if your calendar were filled with music gigs? How would you show up? Would you show up to your practice space really consistently? Would you show up in a different mood? Would you interact with people in a different way? How would you act as if you had it now? Would you be a little bit calmer, a little less, I don't mean this in a derogatory way because I've been there, but a little less desperate, right? Because a lot of times when we really, really need something or really, really think we need it and we're going after it, we don't even know that sometimes we're giving off a desperate energy. What if we showed up as if we are born into our gigs, our clients, our gallery shows, our success, our dreams, our talent, whatever it is, and just embodying whatever success is for us? That's what it means to act as if. The other part of A is it achievable? This is really, really great. I have to temper myself with this because I'm a little bit ruled by Jupiter. I'm super Sagittarius, and I like to dream really big to the point where I share my goals with people and they're like, good luck with that. So sometimes I protect my goals because I don't want to let anyone else's projections onto it. But is it achievable? So I personally am working on some huge goals right now, on the precipice of some huge changes in my life. I'm 8 months pregnant right now, and I'm going to be moving in a year, and there's all these really great opportunities and changes happening, and at the same time, I feel like this is the time to step up and make even bigger changes, even though things are going to change in a way that I can't even anticipate right now. So even though we need to make sure it's achievable, I don't want that to prevent you from dreaming big. If you're like me and you want a big, beautiful life that is just full of artistic freedom and creativity and not having to answer to a pointy-haired boss and a sea of cubicles, continue, please, 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 to dream big. And if your big dream is really modest and humble and quiet, please let that be your big dream too. There's nothing wrong with it. Whatever is in your heart. But if it's not achievable, if you came to me as a client today and said, I want to create the next SpaceX in the next year, I would say probably not, which is a really tough thing for me to say because my default is like, all right, let's go do it, you know? But it's probably not achievable. So you got to look at things from current situations, where you are now, what resources you have now, things like physics, things like the society that you're in. All of that will really come together to see whether to support you and whether it's achievable or not. And also, can this be accomplished without compromising all areas of your life? So if you came to me and said, I want to get a bunch more gigs and travel the world, and at the same time I want to spend the same amount of time with my family, if not more, we'd have to look at the implications of the schedule and the demands of touring for a really long time, right? And co-create a strategy that will ensure that both things are being taken care of, or maybe one happens now and another happens later, because if the disparity is not addressed, then there's no doubt that there will be a challenge in accomplishing your goals. So you have to look at all areas of your life. That means professional, spiritual, physical health, mental health, financial, romantic, family, and whatever else you can think of. So if you came to me and said, you know, I want to find a way to I don't know, blow up a big hole in the desert. But your spiritual beliefs are we should always respect the environment and all the animals within it. There's going to be a disparity there, and we'd have to work on aligning some things. And then, of course, I'd have to decide whether or not I want to support you if you still want to blow up a hole in the desert or whatever. But forget the tangent. Sorry, coming back, regrouping, I'm back. Okay, so is it supportable in all areas of your life? Ask yourself that. And if it's not, then take a look. Where is the disparity? It's okay if it's not supportable in all areas of your life. It's actually an opportunity to look at where things might be a little bit out of alignment. And that's a really, really great awareness to have. Another thing is if it's achievable or if it's not achievable, that's another really great awareness to have. Why isn't it achievable? Are there not the resources that you have, or are you not in a state of resourcefulness? Are you missing something? Are there smaller incremental goals that you need to accomplish before going after this bigger goal? These are all really good questions to have come up to the surface. Okay, great. So let's talk about the R. Again, is it realistic? That's kind of around the achievable thing. Is it realistic for you to not have any background in engineering or physics and want to launch a rocket? No. If you have $500 in your checking account right now and you want to be in the Billionaire Boys Club in 6 months, I mean, miracles happen. I'm all about dreaming big, but I would also probably suggest, if you came to me with all of that, that we take a look. Take a look at the components that are in place or are not in place, so that we can really get realistic on what's achievable and what's not. Is it responsible? Is it responsible to yourself? Is it responsible to your loved ones? Is it responsible to your community? Is it responsible to society? Is it responsible to the world as a whole? These are things that are really, really important to be aligned with, because if you're not aligned with them and they're not responsible, you'll find that those external tests and obstacles that I was mentioning before will probably be a little more frequent. and a little more pervasive, right? Again, we can talk about how the unconscious mind works in a couple of future videos, but I guarantee you, if there's something about it that doesn't line up with your sense of responsibility and morals and everything, it's just not going to go well. Okay. So the T is it timely? Do you have a time limit on it? Easy. You want more music gigs? You want more music gigs booked by when? You want 25 more booked by when? Our unconscious mind responds super well to time limits, right? Because we could say we want to book 25 more music gigs, and if you just say, well, sometime, then you're giving yourself an out. If you say 25 more gigs in the next year, then boom, there's a sense of urgency that will be the first domino in taking action, because guess what? Success is a domain of action. The idea of the law of attraction and everything, okay, there's some merits to it, but it should be the law of action. Law of action with an intense focus on the positive and what you really want. Okay, and speaking of what you really want, is the goal toward what you want? Will it move you toward a better life for yourself, for your family? Will it move you toward your bigger life dreams and what you're truly desiring for yourself? Because if it's not, if it's something that's just self-contained, as something that's like more for someone else rather than yourself, then I got to tell you, it's not going to work. So there you go. There's part one of goal setting for success. If you want more videos like this, please, please, please subscribe. I'm going to post another video with even more exercises on this. Let me know in the comments below what questions you have, and if there's anything that really worked well for you for this video. So again, subscribe and sign up for my newsletter, and there will be so many more goodies like this. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and have a great time as you do this exercise, all right? My animals agree. They're getting all amped up for you. So go create, set your goals, slay them. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for watching.